up the torch. No, light up the torch. Uh, now you've made me screw up my song, and I haven't even thought about it for 5 seconds. Thank you very much. Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friend. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and to create again. Yes, we're live. Yay! Finally, it took me a minute or two. Okay, so it did finally connect. Okay, now I am getting the feedback that's unbelievable, so I got to turn off the volume in the actual chat room. Okay, here we are, people. For those that are wanting to know what's going on, now it says that it's one person watching, and it's probably you in the chat room, Renee, but that's okay. Uh, just wanted to, as I've said, do a live feed with the drawing of the name for the melting memory giveaway that I've been trying to accomplish for a little while. Anyway, uh, I know I said 1 to 600, but there's only like 12 or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people that put their name in the hat, as it were. And one person did the number one. Renee, you there?
I'm here.
You had that random access generator a little while ago. Let me.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll bring it up.
I'm gonna put numbers to everybody's name, and we're gonna go from there. Okay. I know might not be the number that you asked for, but considering there's only 12 names, uh, having 600 numbers, I thought there'd be more people that would want to put their name in the hat. But that's okay. That means you guys have a chance to have a better chance of winning, I guess you could say. And I decided also that I'm not only going to give away one thing of diacroic, but I'm going to give away two. So that means there's three giveaways, and there's 11 people. So you've got almost a 1 in 3 chance, or 1 in 4 chance to get a winning number here. So
What numbers do you want me to put in the generator, Lou?
1 through 11.
Your first number?
Yes.
The number 3.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going down the list to make sure I put the numbers down. Uh, one more person to write down here. Okay, you said number 3? And
Yes,
that
sir.
was Vincent Huckleby on the list. I just put, as you put your name down, Vincent, uh, that's for one of the things of the diachroic. Uh, I should have said what the drawing was for beforehand, but that's okay. I'm going to do the two things of the diachroic, and that's one of them. Vincent, you're going to be one of the people that receive uh, some diachroic glass to play with, and it is Boro compatible. Now, the next number, if you could go ahead.
Your next number is number 11.
Number 11, and that one is Robert Job, and that will also be some more of the diachroic. And I'm probably going to give away, it's going to be more than a quarter of a pound both times. So I will get with you and message you about uh, when, where, and how. And finally, the winning person of the marble mold slash bead mold graphite thingy. I've never used it, and I went straight to a marble mold very shortly after getting this and haven't turned back. But it does have a nice round ball area for making marbles, and if you wanted to use it to make some nice round beads, it will work really well for you. So go ahead and if you have 3 or 11, do another generation because I said you will only win once. So go ahead and give me another number.
Your next number is number 5.
Number 5. Oh,
So,
don't tell me that. You did that on purpose. I know you did. Actually, you didn't know that
how
number
could I know
5.
what numbers you assigned anybody?
Now,
I don't know what
actually,
you
you're not going to believe this, but your name is on number 5.
really? For real?
Yes. Oh, that's terrible. You did that on purpose. I know you did. Now they're all going to think it was rigged. But truly, that's the 3 things on the giveaway. And Renee, I'll get with you. And again, you're going to have to at least pay for postage. And I figure about about $3 or $4 for postage, and that should do it on all of this stuff, each person. So
You got PayPal, right?
yes, I got a PayPal, and that's how we'll get it connected. And it'll be after an hour or so from now because I want to do this episode. And Renee, we were talking about doing an elephant. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. We're going to try to do an elephant today and see where it can get us. And hold it. There we are. I wanted to put that on the main screen. Okay.
So you're going to do an elephant first?
Yes.
We're going to do an elephant together, right? Okay.
Yeah, I will do an elephant first, and then we can do an elephant together. And if Loren would like me to try to demonstrate something that he would like to see done, and then we could try one of those together too. I've got close to an hour here, and we're going to do it, okay? So,
sounds good.
Let's light up the torch turn on the torch and light up the flame. There we go. Now, an elephant. The reason you're going to be doing an elephant is that you've already been doing the round ball pieces, and if anybody in the chat room has anything to say, just click on and say hi. And it looks like nobody's watching us at the moment. Sob, sob. But I had to do it live so that we could do the drawing, and I've got to do these glasses with so I can read the screen in front of me in case somebody leaves something in the chat room. Now,
you gotta get
elephant.
Flippers, man.
Yeah, I need to do a lot of things. I need to have a techno-fugalty guy that I can yell at and blame for all my problems, right? Okay, I'm going to do this a little larger than what glass you would be doing it with so that you could see it a little better. And let me switch camera angles. Get over here. There we are. Up and the top one. There we are. Can you see me now? First of all, we're going to go and make a round ball. And the reason we're doing it, I think we need to stay with the round ball series with you. The frog was basically a round ball animal, believe it or not. And, you just have a flattened head. And this is also a round ball, and it's going to be made into an elephant. Now I've done this and basically from that round ball you add another round ball on top of it. I'm going to put on the shield so that people can see what's going on inside the flame a little better. Can you see that okay?
I'm not burning. Yeah, I can see it.
You can see what's going on behind the shield a whole lot? Okay, good. Now basically you make a nice big round ball, and one of the things that you've got to learn about your pieces is you figure out when you're working it in your mind, you've got to have a top, you've got to have a bottom, you've got to have a front, you've got to have a back to that piece. It's
right.
And so that you can orientate it and know where to put a leg and know where to put a head, and know where to put a tail. And it's just basic, I guess you could say basics of animal anatomy. If you figure it out, but you've got to do the geometry of it too, because you just can't say, well, I'm going to put a head next to this, back foot. That might not work. So you've got to have it already sort of positioned in your mind where you're going to put things. Now I'm going to add a.
You're doing some stuff unconsciously that I don't understand why you did.
Huh?
All that glass that you pinched off with the tweezers, I have no idea why you did that.
What? They just pulled off the glass from that one piece over here?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing stuff that you're not taught. I don't understand why you cleaned those pieces of glass off instead of just using them for whatever you're doing.
I was going to be making a cold weld, and I need to make a nice round cold or a weld there on this piece, so that, and it had a little bit of a junk piece of glass going on, and I could have just tapped it off, but instead I decided to just pull it off, and that way you get clean piece of glass to a clean piece of glass, basically. Okay, now that's going to be where the tail is to this elephant.
Right.
Okay? Back here, that's in my right hand. And now you're going to go up the rod that you've been melting the round ball from. This is very similar. That's going to be
just like we did when we did turtle, right?
Yes. You're going to go up about, but you can already see that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's sort of like the ball is slumped to one side instead of slumped or centered like it was on the turtle. You go down about a quarter of an inch, and now you're going to heat up and pull off. In one way I think that the shield works. I need to get just a lighter shield, and it's kind of hard to find it, but I'll find one. I know I will. But
the shield was working for me, Lou.
Okay.
If you're worried about that, I can see.
Okay, that's good then. Now, then you're going to make the round. You're going to pull it off and make another round ball.
Right.
See, but this one is going to be off center.
I want to keep that pretty on the top side.
Yeah, you can see it's going to be off center because you can see already the top, and then the front of this is where the head goes is a little higher. If you understand that principle.
Yes, sir.
We're going to put on 2 ears, of course. The first of 2 ears is going to be another round ball, and then you're going to flatten those balls and make the ears out of them.
Now this is just going to be exactly like when we made the head by itself. It was on the pendant, where you put the round balls on, flatten, and then hold them out just a little bit.
This is going to be to the body also. Okay. Here we go. There's 1 ear, and again you're going to have to learn symmetry and be able to put the other ear on the other side of the same piece, and try to make sure that you add the same amount of glass to the other side so that they're even. And that comes with practice. It doesn't come easy, believe me. I may make it look easy, but there was a lot of trial and error and error and error and error. Huh?
Where'd you get your tweezers at? Did any Lamp supply place have them?
Any supply place. Also, if you ever go to a flea market and you see surgical tweezers, for like $3 or $4, I got a slew of them, and I've misplaced 90% of them. I had like 3 or 4 pairs of tweezers at one time at the dollar store. They had these metal stainless steel tweezers, and boy, did I wish I'd have gotten every single one they had. I've done that. Anyway, now there you go. I've already flattened the 2 ears, and at this point, believe it or not,
it could be a mouse. It could be anything.
Yes. Believe it or not, depending upon what you do with it from here, you've got. This is very basic. You've got a mouse. You've got, and here's what makes it an elephant. You're going to heat up just the bottom of that round, flat thing, touch a cold weld to it, and pull, and that makes the little tuft or the little point at the bottom of the ear. And you're not pulling hard, you're just sort of heating it up and pulling it a little bit. Okay? And I'm going to do the other side real quick.
So you're not adding any glass, you're just pulling it out a bit.
I'm just touching a cold weld and pulling it out a little bit.
Okay.
Now the nose.
If I did that on the top, would it be a cat?
Yes. You pointed them up and towards the outside, you get a cat. You're thinking a pig, same deal. You're thinking. That's the idea of lateral thinking. You've got to look at these, and the anatomy of these animals are very, very similar. That's what I'm talking about, the alphabet of shapes, that once you learn them, okay, now back to the nose real quick before I do that. I heat up about 1/4 of an inch, I pull it out a little bit, then curve it up, and then let it cool a little bit, and then point it out, and then just heat and pull it off, very similar to that. And you got to like the up and flip nose there.
Now, did you do anything to shape the tip of the nose?
No, but you can if you want to. And I ended up feeling that. There we go. There we go. And I've always put the trunk upwards because elephants' trunks up are good luck.
Ah. Okay. So how do you keep from melting off the feet when you're trying to put 4 feet on something? Because I'm having a terrible time with that.
I'm gonna get there. That's basically, again, the turtle but with longer legs, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing the eyes, and again, you learn to do the symmetry and touch, pull, let it melt back in. The eyes are about the same size and on the same side of the opposite sides of the head, and not one up and one down. It's one of those things that you just learn to eye.
Gotta learn.
Ha, ha, ha.
You put tusks on your elephants?
You can. Most of the time, just sometimes due to time itself, you can put a lot of detail in anything that you do. But if it still looks like an elephant and they'll buy it, whether it has tusks on it or not, you can leave the tusks off. That's the way I look at it. Especially if you're having to do, you're doing a lot of orders, and if they will still buy it without the tusks and get away with it, fine. You're just trying, again, I gear a lot of my images to the 5-year-old in all of us. And here goes, truly, also back to the alphabet of shapes. And as you do these shapes over and over again, you will learn that just by subtly changing one shape, like you were already saying that could be a mouse, and if you put the legs on it very similar to what you do with the frog, and a curlicue tail, a long curlicue tail, you've got a mouse. If you did, and if you had, put a flat snout on it instead of the long nose, you've got a pig. It's just subtle changes, just like in the alphabet of letters that you have. I have a cold weld here on the top. I'm sorry I'm talking more again. And I'm going to go all the way around just like I do with the turtle legs. 4 legs on the bottom, as it were. Start with one, then go to the next. But just like the word CAT.
You moved your cold weld from where the tail's going to be to the top of the figure.
No, the cold weld on the tail is actually a nice weld. I'm sorry, but on top here it is a cold weld. Now that's one of the next. I am really going to work on that on a up and coming video at doing welds, cold welds and not cold welds, because I think that is confusing some of the people when I talk about it. Then you heat up each leg individually, And they can be a little longer, a little bit shorter, but the idea is to make sure you put 4 of them on there. And I usually make the front legs a little bit longer than the back legs. That way, sometimes the head gets a little top heavy, and if it's tilted just a little bit further back, like this, it won't go full with the 4 legs.
That makes sense.
So now we're working on leg number 3. Again, you want to make sure you do the orange to orange weld, and it's like dropping a drop of water into a bucket of water. You want it to become part of the bucket of water. You're not trying to stick them together and force them together. You're trying to make one piece of glass. 4 legs, 3 legs, 1 to go. Same idea. You heat up. You do the orange to orange, and that's an interesting color. That's what I call orange to orange, but to other people it might be a different color in their mind spectrum. Anyway, I heat up and go down to about a little more than 1/4 of an inch. I then heat and do what I call that DQ swirl that I do all the time.
Right.
And now, again, you can see that one leg's a little bit longer than the other. One's a little bit shorter. That's okay. You can add just a little bit more. But the trick to making them all even is now you spin just the tips of the feet, the bottoms of the feet. You keep spinning until they're all nice and orange. And then you press down on the graphite that you have or whatever. And now that all your legs have now become nice and even. And this is the time where you tap it off. And yes, that's due to the cold weld. That's right. What? And then
I've heard it, and I saw you do it, but I don't see what you're doing to do it.
Yes, cold welds will drive you nuts until you finally, it'll be one of those aha moments in your life, truly, where you made welds so much the same way all the time that you stick them together and it's all melted together. But a cold weld to me is where you have 2 pieces of glass, and one of them is very, very hot, and one of them is not as hot.
Right.
Let me make a nice little round ball here.
Orange to orange. It's like orange to not orange.
Correct. But usually, I call it a cold weld. The actual body of the piece, like we're going to start working. Have you got your torch on yet? No.
Could you flip this so that it's actually looking at the torch?
Yes, I can.
Are you going to be able to hear me now? We'll see.
All right.
I hope you can hear me. Now, again, I'm already at the round ball stage. I want to see what you can do, and I'm going to put you. Did we lose you again? No, wait a minute. Hold it, stay. Let's get you on the main screen. Now you're the one that's on the main screen right now. It's been on me, now it's on you. I want you to make a nice round ball. I still say you need to have your torch a little lower, or if you need to be standing up over that torch where you have it. You're stressing out your body. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it is very important to not stress out your body while you're working.
Yeah, I know.
Now the back area here is going to be a nice good weld for the tail. I'm going to put that on there already. And I'll wait for you from here. How you doing on a round ball? I want you to, let gravity work for you. Keep rounding it a little bit bigger. I think you can do a little bit bigger elephant than that.
Yeah, I've had a really hard time getting my gathers beyond about the size of a large pea. Once I get them that large, I seem to just
they sort of slump real
follow.
Now also, I want you to take it out of the flame and just let it sort of drip. No, no, no. You want the gravity to work for you, and you want it to slump a little bit downward. No, no. Like this. Have it in the flame and let it slump. That you can see
like
that sort of. Let me see. Again, the head of the yeah. There you go. There you go. Gravity's working really nice for you there. Now put a nice weld on the back for the tail.
Okay, so you want this to be a solid weld?
Yeah, this is going to be a solid weld.
Okay.
Nice bigger stringer, or even that could be the same size, but make sure it's just a smaller weld. Yeah, just where the tail is going to be. Got your two.
Now we're going to go out here. We'll do it like we did.
About a quarter of an inch. Quarter of an inch down. And you're going to heat up and pull off, and that's going to be the head. Now, if you get really good at this, I just went to try to switch hands and put that cold weld back on. They stuck together like a bead of honey.
What?
It's kind of hard. When I tried to switch hands, I ended up sticking the rods together anyway. Now, when you get good at this, you can do this. You can do the head and the trunk in one fell swoop motion. Okay, where you don't have to make the round ball and then do the trunk. You can heat up and do the trunk all at once. Like so. And then just put the ears to the side. Now that you got the round ball, you're going to put the two flat ears or two round balls to the side of the ear, or the ears. But learning to do these alphabet of shapes over and over again, they come in just by changing them subtly. Back to the story I tried to talk about, but like using the alphabet of letters, you have CAT, and it makes an image in your brain, cat. But just by changing one letter in that word, HAT, becomes a totally different image in your mind. And the same thing with these alphabet of letters or alphabet of shapes that you're learning, is but just by changing them subtly in one direction or another, putting the ears upwards and pointing them upwards and flattening the nose instead of making it long and like a trunk of an elephant. You've got a pig or a cat. You just by changing it subtly, you've got a different animal entirely. That's what you've got to realize. And you also got to use that lateral thinking, like you were looking at it saying, hey, that looks like a mouse. That's what you got to do when you're playing around with the glass. You look at something that you're making, and you might not even have something in mind that you want to do. And you've got to look at it and say, hey, that looks like such and such, or that looks like something I want to do. Okay? And try playing and experimenting, just like David Gruber. I gave him the assignment of making a pig, I believe. No, a cat.
Well, take a look. Can you see that? That's my basic creature. Round ball, 2 ears. See it?
Yeah. Yeah, I see the two flat ears. Yep. A little higher. A little higher. Yeah. Two flat ears. Now again, you heat up just the flat ear and pull a tuft at the bottom, and you've got the pointed ear for the elephant.
I did not.
Your ear's coming.
I'm almost there.
If you can put eyes on your animals, more power to you. But if you don't feel like you can do it with ease, don't worry. Eyes is something that people look for, but if they're not there, people will imagine it there. Just like when I'm doing like a mermaid or even a face sometimes, I leave the face blank and people fill in the face knowing that it's there, not, and it makes it, their imagination fills it in. It's kind of weird that way, but it works out real good. Are you about ready for the trunk? You doing that now?
Trunk's done.
Huh?
What do you think?
Higher. Lift it up. No, not that high.
Ah!
What happened?
Camera is up here.
What happened?
How about there?
Now turn it sideways so that I can see the a side view of it. That's looking good. Well, the trunk could be a little bit longer, but nothing terrible. Just a little bit. It looks like a snub-nosed pig, if you ask me. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. You know that.
I like that better.
Yeah, a little bit longer on the nose. Don't skimp on a long nose. Believe me, it comes in handy. Yeah.
Okay, so now I need 4 legs.
And I know that you're not going to make an elephant exactly like mine. You're going to make an elephant exactly like your elephant. Each person has their distinct image of an elephant in their mind, believe it or not. And I tell people the only thing that stops me from doing my job is my imagination and their imagination clashing. And I also tell people that if you do not like it, you do not have to buy it. I'd rather somebody be happy than unhappy, by a long shot. Okay. Now, ready for the cold? Pull it off. Actually, the best thing to do is pull off. Put a cold well at his nose at the moment, and a cold well. Again, you make it nice and orange, and the nose is going to be. You're not even putting that in the flame, and then you're going to touch it to the end of the nose and hold it there, and it should become a cold well. Have you started doing the legs already?
Yeah. Yeah. But I got the cold weld on the nose.
And then you're going to pull it off the weld that you did on the back to make just the tail. That's good.
Okay.
Just at the back of the tail, and you're going to make a little nip point thing for the tail there. Okay, and then you're going to, you could probably even take that, once you pull it off, yeah. No, that was supposed to be the pointy tail, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to have to take some of that off.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll let you. You're the doctor. You can surgically remove.
Darn. Here.
Again, you're learning. You're learning animal anatomy 101. You've got to have an image in your mind to start with, and that does help. Now you're going to add a cold well to the top of his body.
Oh, cold well to the top.
Yeah. Or actually, if you wanted to, you could do the legs like you're doing from the back, from the nose. That'll work. I'm sorry. The less stressing on the soft glass, the better. Believe me. I didn't think about that. You are using soft. I'm using boro. But the reason that I put the weld at the top is so that when you smash the legs, they all become even a little bit easier than if you smash the legs from the front. You might tilt it one direction or another. Okay, one leg. I'm going to do. So when do you think you might have your garage studio up and running?
Next month, but I just put a perfect elephant into the well, perfect for me. I just put a perfect elephant into the blanket. I am so happy.
There you go.
He's got a tail, 4 legs, and when I tapped him off, it took part of the trunk, but because it was so small, I heated it right back up and put the trunk back on it, took it off, put it right in the blanket.
That's the thing.
It's
you
awesome.
got to realize that's. Did you flatten the legs even?
I did. Holy moly. I'm going to switch out and let Loren make one now.
Okay, sounds good. What, you want to try an elephant too, Loren?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Or did you want to try a type of bead thingy?
Well, I did some beadwork this afternoon.
Uh-huh. How'd that turn out?
And a couple of them turned out really good. If I can pick it up, it's still in very hot glass. Or in.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I've got it in the.
Don't forget.
It's just.
If you have something that you're really excited about, you can put it on the Melting Memory page, and/or Torch Talk too, because they're that's what they're there for. So, and you'll get a lot of critique going there too. But just beware that some people out there want to be mean because you're better off than they are. They don't like it. Oh.
They want to be rude. Yeah.
They want to be really rude and say that you're terrible trash and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, this is the pendant that I did yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think. Just after you showed us the other night.
Okay.
I was just flopping glass around and seeing how it moved.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, you could sit there and take a flat piece of glass and twist it. That's what I did with one. I think this is a piece of that blue beer bottle that I did the other night. It's just flat. While I was doing it, I just sort of did a little bit of a twist to it, and I left it just like it is. Worked out real well.
Yeah, I tried some of that wine bottle glass, and it just kept shattering on me. So.
Yes, again, I prefer that you guys. I do it because that was the only soft glass that I had available. But you guys need to really work with what you have become comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because I have done a variety from doing soft glass to quartz, which is one COE level to completely opposite seal. It's like going from it would be like going from sulfuric acid to a major base, in contrast to what it can do. They both can. They have their properties and their qualities. Okay, I am going to sit here and talk you through this. I'm going to just sit here. It's been a long day.
I'm just trying to get all my stuff organized here and make sure I got punties and stuff in reach.
We have 3 people watching. That's great. If you want to type something into the chat room, say hi, and I can get. And if you have a request for something that you'd like to see me do before I go off air today, just type it right into the chat room there, and we'll see what we can do for you. Now, you are going to do an elephant, correct?
I'll do my best at it at least.
Okay. You've already seen it done 3 or 4 times, so now your muscle memory is already getting in the right direction to do the job. And make the nice round ball, of course.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a punty together for later on. So.
Okay, that'll work. I'll let you this time.
Now once I get this cleaned off, I'll use this to make mine.
I've been doing live feeds here on YouTube. I'm going to give the live feeds on Facebook a chance now that I've got these cell phones that you can tap into their internet. It takes an app on your cell phone that you can do live feeds with a cell phone camera. So I'm going to see if anybody salutes that one too. The thing I like about those live feeds that when you finished it finally and it goes off air, you'll see virtually chat for chat. In other words, when somebody says something and it, like if you started the video and then you'll see the first part of the chat and then you don't see all the chat all at once and you actually do see what's going on in the chat room, which is pretty cool. But from the video, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so what do we got going here? Did you start? Are you doing a round ball now?
I'm trying to. I went to adjust my flame and went the wrong direction and turned it off.
I understand that principle. Been there, done that. Just ease it on in. I know that glass is tetchy. Soft glass is like that. But just do it step for step. It's a totally different mindset when you finally get an oxygen propane torch. And I would suggest that you get an oxygen concentrator, and they're not as hard as you think to get a hold of.
Yeah, I've been looking at setting up oxygen ready. So.
Yeah, they do have like I typed a little message to to Rene earlier that that a medium-sized range would do soft and boro fairly nicely. And I know you like some of the color variations that you can get in soft glass. Or are you just starting out and it doesn't really matter at this point?
Does the Boro not get any colors?
What's that?
Does Boro not have as much colors?
There's a lot of colors. You can look it up on like not North Star, but yeah, North Star is one of the color makers. There's Glass Alchemy. There's a half a dozen that are all Boro related. Okay, you got your round ball.
Yeah.
I can't get my balls out of here.
See now, that torch is properly adjusted to you because you have your elbows propped and you're working really comfortable. Unlike Rene, it's a totally different setup that she needs to be comfortable with what she's doing. The less stress that you have in your body while you're working, the more energy you can put to your work that you're trying to do without. In other words, it's like trying to bicycle uphill. You can do it, but it's sometimes easier to. I'd go a little bit closer to the body with that. You don't need that big of a head. There you go. But you could do it, but you're fighting against the whole process of bicycling because you're going uphill. But you'll get there. You'll get the work done, but you're working harder bicycling uphill. But if you're bicycling on an even keel or an even level road, then you're not having as working your body as hard, but you're getting the job done just as easily. Okay. Now that head is a little higher than the bodies that you're doing. I'm going to take some pictures of the elephants that I have done. And I expect to see pictures of what you're doing today, guys. I want to see them on the Facebook Melting Memory page. That's part of the. I guess that's another thing I got to tell people is the prerequisite is that people have to see what you're doing. You know what I mean? And at this point, and you know that it's a pretty cool feeling that when people recognize what you've done without you telling them what it is a very interesting, and I'm excited about it. Let's just put it that way. So. Now you're going to add the 2 ears to the side.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to put the ears on.
Yeah. You can either do the round ball. Yeah, the round ball is the quickest way at this point. But when you get going on it, I do what I call the fold and pull method, and you've seen me use that on several of my pieces. And you can do an ear just as easily that way. But the way we're doing it now is the simplest way to get the same effect over and over again. For starters, for someone who's just starting out, if you know what I mean. Hello, Data Badger. I'm sorry I haven't been looking into the chat room.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, thank you.
No, mine just be David.
Is that David?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I didn't know what his name was. But yeah, he's getting in the same situation you guys are, but he's working on it, getting a studio up and running. But where he's set up right now in his garage, it's getting colder where he's at too, and it's one of those things. Okay, how you coming? You got the ears flat? Are you flattening them now? Okay.
Flattening now. Kind of small.
That's okay. Again, your interpretation of an elephant is going to be different than my interpretation of an elephant. It'd be like
an elephant, that's all.
It'd be like me writing my name and you writing my name. It would still come out the same wording, but it would look different. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to have an Asian elephant, not an African.
There you go. Again, the trick is to make something, and then somebody who doesn't know what you're making, go up to them and say, "What do you think this is?" And if they tell you exactly what you were making, then you're in the right direction. And if they, if you give it to them and they say it looks like a dog, when you're trying to make a cat, you got to work on your cat. And then you look at that thing and say, well, if that looks like a dog to them, then that means I got to remember how to make a dog very similar to this. In other words, use that lateral thinking.
After we get the ears on, what do we do?
The nose.
The nose.
The nose. You're good about warming that piece in before you put it in there. That's real good, especially with that soft glass. I'm sorry, people. I haven't been sleeping the last couple of days. I think it has to do with the hurricane and the stressing of it all. I think I've had about 2 or 3 hours sleep in the last 24.
Yeah, but you've been dealing with a hurricane.
Yeah, it does stress people. I'm I'm really thankful for how it came in and went out. It was looked like it was going to be a big tempest, but all of a sudden it hit the Appalachian Mountains, and somehow some wind shear or something started drawing it right up into New York. It was really weird the way it went. Now heat it up, take it out, take it out of the flame, pull it forward, and then let it. Oh, it's yeah, a little bit too up, and now heat it, let it cool, and then heat it and pull it forward. There you go. There you go. Nice and long.
No too long there.
There you go. Now you can go ahead and start putting the legs on it and leave that thing on there in the back if you like. Or
Eyes, you need eyes.
I'm not going to worry about the eyes right now. Thank you very much.
yeah, like I said,
Unfortunately,
the eyes are sort of important, but they're not as important because if they don't have eyes, people look at it and say, "Yeah, vortex marble dealing with the hurricane." I've actually did for someone the hurricane symbol for earrings for one time. That was pretty interesting. Only did one set, but somebody wanted it. I think they worked at the weather center or something like that, and the hurricane symbol meant a lot more to them.
Hey, Lou,
Yeah.
you're watching Loren work, right? You
What's
still
that?
have the camera on set up.
I know. I have the camera set on Loren there on purpose.
Well, what we see is your setup. That's all there's in the chat room. They're not seeing Loren.
Loren is in the chat room, and I mean the actual YouTube chat room. Uh, you are seeing my camera angle over here and all I see is it's in the bottom edge of the. No, actually they don't in that case, but on you, but you see me in the Hangouts chat room. That's pretty interesting. Now, in past, I've seen it where you could see, uh, well, in the chat room with Torch Talk when I was in that on YouTube, you could actually see the people in the row in the corners. So it's pretty interesting. But that's surprising.
I'm seeing Loren on your feed down in the corner.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, you got 4 legs going on. That's good. Heat and press even. But you got to get them. Yeah, I read about the vortex marble. I could probably come up with something. I've been actually better than a vortex marble. The one thing I love to do is galaxy type marble. Is where you have the swirl pattern going on like a galaxy.
Can we do that in salt glass?
Yeah, you can do it in any type of glass. Now, yeah, just cold weld at the nose, and now you're going to heat up and warm out at the tail.
Without burning the legs off.
Yeah, that's the fun part. There's always an angle. You just got to learn where the angle is to get it just right. There's a way of doing it. Now just fire polish that off. There you go. Yeah, either tap that off or heat that off, one of the two with a pair of tweezers. But then you got to fire polish it anyway to get off of the flame. Yeah, warming it out is a good idea too. Sorry.
Ready here.
What? Not as steady
Oh,
on the legs.
nothing. Just had to get it into the beads.
There you go. You're good to
I like
go.
working
Bravo,
Oh,
bravo.
it's in the hermeticulites. And I didn't burn the legs all the way off. And it's got a trunk.
I expect to see pictures of these on Melting Memories.
Will do on that one.
With that, Dave, do you have something that you'd like to do before I leave tonight? Actually, no. I am tired. I'm tired. We'll get there the next time. It's been fun, and I'm glad you were able to, you and Renee, you, Loren, and Renee, able to show up tonight on the as short a notice as I gave. And I will be getting with all those people that I did that. I should have waited until the end of the Hangouts. I mean, the end of the YouTube video, and then did the drawing. But I think that I delayed it long enough, and I'm glad that. And congratulations, Renee. I think you'll really enjoy that, and also you, Loren, because again, on one side it has the Oops, here we go. I'm going to put this up on the main screen again. Give me just a second. It has the one where the mandrel can do for the round ball and beads, and then it also helps you if you're doing a longer bead and you want to put it in a mandrel to make it. Anyway, you get the hint.
Yeah, polish off the ends. Yeah.
And you've got two different sizes going on here too. The same two sizes I think that are on this side are also for a longer bead on this side too. So that's pretty interesting. I like that, but I just never used it, and it was something nice to have for emergency. But I think somebody else, you two will get a lot of use out of it. So.
Well, thank you, Lou.
Thank you. So we'll go from there, and yes, I'm going to give away the Dichro too. I will be getting up with those people that won, and to tell you the truth, I don't think I wrote down or copied their names to another area. Holy cow!
Roby was one of them. Hang on, I can give it to you. Just give me a second, okay?
Yeah,
Actually,
3, 5, and 11.
it's on record. It's recorded on live video, so I'll get the names in the right order. Yeah, Robert Joe and Vincent Huckabee was the other one, I believe.
Huckabee, okay.
So we'll go from there. Either one, either way, his number was number 11. I didn't realize that until after all said and done, so it worked out. So Huckabee and Robert Job and, of course, you, Renee, won the... I know you rigged it. I know you rigged it somehow, but it was all...
I'm still trying to figure out how I could have rigged it.
Yeah, it was all... And I know that you forced Loren, and you said, Loren, you better put your name in that or we're not going to get that. And he was going, why should I? You already did. Anyway.
And as it plays out.
With that, let me get over here, and I'm going to stop the live feed. And thank you very much, people, for watching. And until next time, as always, enjoy your day.